Bienvenidos and welcome back to Puro Pinche Gol, the place where we discuss all things USMNT y la selección mexicana. My name is Adrian Cruz and today I am just doing this solo. El Tocayo's out there doing adult stuff, getting his new house ready. So yeah, let's wish him luck. Let's hope that he finds some foldable chairs that he can use to record our episodes and not being standing up like he did over the last two. So yeah, today I'm here to discuss my reactions of the recent match between Mexico and Canada, that boring and lackluster 0-0. And yeah, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. Without further ado, I'm gonna give you some statistics of the match as we normally do here. 10 shots for Mexico, 5 for Canada, 3 on target, 1 on target for Canada, 52% possession for Mexico, 48 for Canada. We had 311 passes for Mexico, 281 for Canada. 70% of those passes were accurate for Mexico and 68 for Canada. Here's a kicker: 24 fouls for Mexico, 19 fouls for Mexico. We'll discuss a little bit that specific thing a little bit in the next few minutes. 3 yellow cards for Mexico, 3 for Canada, 6 corners for Mexico, 5 for Canada, and no offsides whatsoever during this match. So, formation-wise, El Vascoaguirre remained with his 4-2-3-1 formation like he did against New Zealand. Still surprised he's not using a back 5, but at times, if you see the match, you could see Eric Lira becoming a third center back and then having the line of 5. I think this is a formation that is, I guess, the vanilla that he puts out there, and then as the match goes into transition, and depending on how the other position is playing, he can always have a defensive midfielder become a third center back and whatnot. So I think that's why you have two defensive midfielders in this case Luis Romo and Eric Lira for this match. Overall, there were some changes in the roster for this match. You have Julian Araujo starting as the right back, Victor Guzman in replacement for Cesar Montes, Johan Vasquez featured again, and he was the captain for this match. Luis Angel Malagón was the keeper instead of Raúl Rangel. And then we have Jesus Angulo instead of Jesus Gallardo on the left back. Eric Lira, as I mentioned, was one of the two center defensive midfielders. The other one was Luis Romo, who repeated from last match. El Piojo Alvarado as a right winger. Orbelín Pineda as the central attacking midfielder. And then we had El Chino Huerta as the left winger. In the top, we had Santigimenez, who continues to struggle with Mexico. Now is 14 matches without a goal. So, yep. It's been a year and some change since the last time he scored, as we mentioned in our last episode. Other players that saw action in this match were Alan Mozo, Henry Martin, and Charlie Rodriguez, who came in at the 66th minute. And then we had Diego Lainez, who came in at the 83rd minute. Quick, a few things. I mean, as I said, it was a very boring, lackluster match. At times, I felt that I was watching an Honduras match instead of a Mexico match for the amount of tackles and kicks and freaking slides that I saw Mexico did. There was a 10-minute segue where I saw like 5-6 falls, back to back from Mexico. I understand that el Vascoaguirre gave him a speech of, hey, se tienen que partir la madre, tienen que pelear cada pelota como si fuera la última, tienen que estar orgullosos de ser parte de la selección mexicana, tener un sentido de urgencia, like fight. I understand that, but if you do it too much, it just gets boring, and it just goes to show that you don't have any specific tactics or game plan for the match, which I think was the central topic for Mexico today. It was very difficult to follow what was the game plan for this team, what Vascoaguirre was trying to build up. I noticed like 3 different ways that Mexico tried to build up offensive transitions. The first one was like direct balls, direct attack, or direct transition, which is just long balls from the last line, from the defensive line all the way to the top. This doesn't benefit Santigimenez because he's not a post, he's not a number 9 that retains the ball. And then pairing up Roberto Alvarado and Cesar Huerta to compete pace-wise against Alfonso Davies and Moise Bombito is just not a good plan of attack. I mean, I don't know if Javier Aguirre did his homework. I'm gonna say he probably did, but that was not a good game plan from the beginning. And then I saw him trying to build from the back. Again, I don't think Mexico has the players to be pulling a tiki-taka kind of attack. So it was difficult for them to break those blockages that Canada was setting up, because Canada had a similar formation to 4-2-3-1, which is essentially nullified any tiki-taka advances that Mexico was trying to build. And lastly, I saw like this kind of quick defensive to offensive transitions, and again, it wasn't working because of how Canada was defending on blocks. They were nullifying every single passing route for Mexico. So it was, I don't know, man. I just feel that either El Vascoaguirre or Rafamarquez got outplayed by Jesse March. And granted, Canada is significantly better than New Zealand, right? And so it makes sense that this was a tougher challenge for Mexico. Aside from Canada just being a stronger challenger for Mexico, I mean, there's a lot of pundits right now saying that against New Zealand, Rafamarquez was the coach who set up the game plan and built everything. And this time around, because of the Mexican display, which again, as I said, it was way more aggressive and more focused on being destructive than being the team that proposes on the pitch. They're saying that this was Vascoaguirre's ball game, right? Game style. I don't agree with that kind of stuff, man. Like, I don't think it's fair to say that just because Mexico played better against a weaker opposition and they had a better display on the pitch, it's because Rafamarquez is a genius. And then today, that wasn't the case. Yes, Rafamarquez was less active on this match. El Vascoaguirre was more vocal and standing up, but I don't agree with that kind of crap. I don't agree with the likes of Alvaro Morales, who likes to make a lot of he likes to be divisive and just to be incendiary on his comments. I'm not here to discuss him, but I can see what they're saying. That I understand where they're coming from, but I just don't agree with it. And yeah, I mean, I don't think Rafamarquez I don't think Rafamarquez made any difference. He wasn't like the point of. I don't think he's the point of discord on whether or not Mexico played better against New Zealand or Canada. I think it was just situational. I also think that El Vascoaguirre understood that it was a very low stakes, nothing to gain, nothing to lose match. And he prioritized not losing because he understood that even if he lost, right, there's nothing to lose here. But even if he got beaten by Canada, he understood that he was going to get significantly criticized, even more scrutinized by the media. Which right now, I mean, if you're watching ESPN, Fútbol Picante, La Última Palabra, or TUDN, I'm pretty sure they're just dogging him on the way, on the performance of the team and how Mexico displayed and blah blah blah. Regular pundit stuff from Mexico. So, it's one of those things where I understand those pundits, but at the same time, it's like, come on, man, let's be realistic about this, right? It's going to take time. Even though this is the third time of Javier Aguirre at the helm of Mexico, it's going to take a few matches before the team actually settles to what he wants. Yes, it was a tough match today. Yes, it was difficult to follow the match. It was not necessarily entertaining. But yeah, I just think it's not necessarily one way or the other, right? The team is a team, and both Rafamarquez and Vascoaguirre have a responsibility. It just sucks that I think we all know that this is Vascoaguirre. I think we all know that Vascoaguirre, this is the kind of ball that he plays. This is the kind of style that he decides to always go to. He's used to coaching like small teams, right? With the big ones like Atletico Madrid and maybe Monterrey. If you want to say Monterrey is one of the big ones in ligamx, right? Wink, wink. They're not. And I know Aldo's going to see this and he's going to say something. But hey, I digress. Javier Vascoaguirre has a reputation for being a decent coach with small teams. And Mexico, let's be honest, is a small team. So this is normal, right? This is we expected to see this. Why make a big fuss out of it? I don't know. Needless to say, kind of a as again boring match. Poor display for Mexico. Canada, I guess it helps that they've been playing together for the last 4 years, and Jesse March is actually not a bad coach. We never said he was a bad coach. I don't know why USMNT fans think he wasn't a really good coach. This guy, he prepares himself. He reads the opposition. He studies the opposition. He preps the match against the opposition. He changes based on the opposition. This is a modern coach, a contemporary coach that understands that the highest level of the game, you have to be using different tactics, new techniques. And so I think that just helps. This was a very even match, and it showed that Mexico struggled way more. And it was expected, right? There's no comparison between New Zealand and Canada, dude. It just isn't. There just isn't. So yeah. Mexico, it is Mexico. The last thing that I want to say, as far as reaction is, it's good to see that the Paisas out there are not falling for this trap. They are, voicing their concerns, making sure that Doña Fede listens to their demands. The fact that we saw very few people at the Rose Bowl in LA and then at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium in this match, it just goes to show that the Paisas are not willing to put up with this kind of poor displays and this, boring product that Mexico is right now. I encourage our Paisas and our PPG fam to continue to voice their concerns in this way, because maybe this will have an impact on how Doña Fede plans to develop Mexican football, right? I know that a lot of pundits, a lot of people like to criticize Los Paisas and the fans are here in the States, saying that they are part of the problem because they always pack the stadiums and buy everything that has to do with La Selección Mexicana out of, nostalgia or just yearning to feel like home. But it's nice to see that, now they're opening their eyes and, just making sure that they don't fall for the trap. Also, there's been a bunch of Mexico matches here in the States, and I just think people are just jaded, dude. We have so many soccer matches now in the States, not only like international friendlies, but also club matches, with MLS, Leagues Cup, and you name it, all the summer freaking Molero Cups that happen between European sides and MLS and South American teams or whatever the case may be. I think people are just jaded, dude, and I get it. I'm jaded too. I don't feel like paying $300 to go see freaking Mexico do a freaking giveaway of tackles and slide tackles and whatever against the opposition, and again, thinking that I'm watching an Honduras match, right? So anyways, these are the reactions of the Canadian match. Mexico plays against the USMNT and Valencia in October in the next round of FIFA friendlies. They play USMNT in Guadalajara, and they play against Valencia in Puebla. It's nice to see Mexico going back to play actually in Mexico. And we'll see how the fans treat them. That they are a little more aggressive than they are here. So we'll see how the players react. So as I wrap up this episode, you can always find us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the notifications. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts on. Last but not least, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok. We post memes, latest news, and shorts of our episodes. Let us know in the comments below. What do you think? What are your reactions of this match? What are your thoughts on these two matches with El Vasco at the helm of Mexico? And let us know if you want to see another player here getting called up for these matches. Let us know if you agree with the Paisas not showing up for these games, and in general, if you're jaded just to seeing so many matches this summer, dude. Yeah. As always, I think this was a great episode, and we'll see you around. Deuces.